this is this type of scarf that I always love. It's like the long rectangular ones, and usually like cotton or something like that in bright colors, maybe some prints or stuff like that. And even the like chiffon type that are kind of thinner, they're good for this type of weather, like sunny, warm weather.
I prefer the cotton scarves because all of the other scarves, when I wear them, just fall off, and when you have wind, it just blows away and you end up like catching it. Don't fly, I need you. So the cotton ones stick to my head, so that's what I prefer.
And so pretty much just cottony colors.
This is my scarf collection.
Awesome.
I have scarves in every color from everywhere, so no trouble finding something to match an outfit. A lot of these are gifts from people, but otherwise I would usually, like this was a gift, this one was from Target. A lot of these are from like H&M, and some of them are from Forever 21. So these cool ones in the back are from Pakistan. Haven't really found an outfit to wear with them yet, but they're kind of cool. But yeah, I would typically get my scarves from H&M. And my belt collection, which actually isn't very much, but I have that. So yeah, these are my scarves. They go on for days.
See, in my country, it doesn't mean if you're Muslim, you're gonna end up wearing the hijab properly. I've seen tons of girls with serious style, you know. There are some girls who can't get out of the house without having, like, they would wear the abaya, but they would have it open, and then they would have their hijab like alien-like. They would have it really long. Please, I'm not criticizing you people. I'm just saying, just giving my opinion. Okay, don't be angry. And then some of the girls, they would have so that they're Muslim and they're wearing hijab. Okay, so what they would do is that they would have all of their hair here showing, and then they're gonna have their bun here. And when their hijab would fall down, they would take off their hijab, bring back their hijab up, and put it over the bun and keep this all open again. I mean, like, you know. And some of them just wear the abaya as a dress. Like they say, yeah, you know, I'm wearing hijab and abaya, but as soon as they, like, and outside they would wear the hijab, but as soon as they go inside the university, they just take it off, and there's like a bunch of boys. I mean, like, if you don't want to wear it, you don't have to wear it, you know. I'm not saying, I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying, you know, everybody has their own way of wearing it. But, you know, if you're going to end up wearing something, at least wear it properly.
In general, Old Navy. It's like my #1 store. And then I do a lot of like shopping online. I don't know if you heard of Shukr Online. It's really good, Shukr Online.
To be quite honest, when I enter a store, I don't really think about if it's Islamic or Christian. I just enter it. If it's pretty, you know, if it captures my eye, even if it's like really thin or really loose. What's important is that you can wear it and makes you look pretty. If it gets those two things, you're in.
I love shopping in the mall, like your basic stores in the mall. There's Macy's, H&M, Charlotte Russe, like all of them. And then I also really love thrift stores too. Like I love shopping at thrift stores. You get great deals, and I love. This is kind of weird, but I like shopping in the men's section because they have like the looser clothes and the long, the long sleeves, and yeah, I love thrift stores and I love shopping.
I love shopping at Gap, and I work at Old Navy, and I worked at Gap before, so I kind of like I stick to those stores, the whole Gap, Banana Republic, Gap, and Old Navy. And then, of course, everybody has the occasional, you know, Forever 21 shopping spree. And I like H&M, so I think those are the main stores that I would go to.
Yes, definitely. Because, well, everybody really cares about what you wear and how you look, and it's really important. And you don't want to end up going to someone's house looking like, well, fill in the blank. So you don't want to end up looking awful. So and I'm not really wearing proper clothes. I just want to be, you know, comfortable in what I'm wearing. I don't want to end up thinking, is this too tight? Do I look like, it's important the way I look, but I mean, I don't want to end up thinking about it 24/7. When I talk to my friends, I want to look nice, yes, but also I want to feel really comfortable, and I don't want to end up thinking about, well, I'm embarrassed, this is too tight or whatnot. So when I get married, maybe I would be wearing more of dresses rather than trousers. I would be wearing more colorful and crazy voodoo magic over my head.
Yeah, so I pretty much wear this dress the same as I did before, I think. But I think like my style, or like whatever, kind of always changes, or I mean it's only been like 3 years, has been changing, kind of. And of course, like as I buy more clothes, I'm able to like have a wider variety. But I don't think it changed from before till now, like drastically. Like, okay, I'm married, I need to like dress like this or this, because it's not about him, or if you're a man, or about her. It's not about your spouse, it's about like you and your relationship with God, so it shouldn't change really based on marriage, I don't think.
Probably not. I don't think so. I think that I can't think of a reason why I would change. I would probably keep it the same, like how I am now.
Now religion.
I don't know. I always felt like when I got married, I would put an abaya on, which is like the longer dress covering. But now I don't feel like I will, because I still want to express myself, and I still want to have, you know, a unique style to me that I want people to see. So.
I do. I associate it as the modesty aspect of it, to be covered, to have your head covered, to have a scarf covering you, your long sleeves, the gowns, like wearing looser clothes, and that's, I think, what would be associated with it. But yeah, I think I do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think I said earlier in the interview, like it's my identity first and foremost, I think, would be Muslim. And so like when I get up and get dressed every day, I'm dressing based on what I think is modest, and respecting myself, and covering what needs to be covered. And
I think that fashion obviously plays a big role in Islam, because you know, modesty is a huge part of the religion. So I definitely, like, when I dress, I think about my beliefs and like the idea of modesty, and I try to adhere to that. I think that the Quran definitely says to cover yourself, but I don't see that it specifically says, you know, in what ways to cover yourself. So I don't know that the hijab is right for everybody, but I know that it's right for me, and I think that I try to adhere to like how I interpret the idea of covering myself. I try to wear looser clothing. So.
but one of the verses is, O Prophet, this is a revelation to the Prophet, obviously. O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the women of the believers to draw their cloaks or veils all over their bodies. That will be better, that they should be known. As for you respectable women, so as not to be annoyed. And then in other translations it says molested, which just means like annoyed. And Allah is ever oft forgiving, most merciful. So I think that's the ayat. And then of course, like, people, and then I just interpret that, I mean, there's hadith about it, which is like a saying of the Prophet, you probably learned in your class, about more specifically is how to wear it. And then what was the question? was like, oh, my interpretation of it.
Yes.
I mean, I pretty much interpret that I obviously that's like the decree, and then like there's a hadith where some women were asking the Prophet ﷺ like what because the part that says there's something that's like a different ayat, or maybe it's like maybe they cut it off here, it's saying like cover everything except that which ordinarily appears. And so there were some women came to the Prophet and said like, what does this mean? What ordinarily appears? And he pointed, he's like, it's the face and the hand. So the one that I follow is like the South Asian one, like that region, Hanafi school of thought. And then there's some like people from like North Africa, like Maliki, or like Shafi, like Saudi Arabia, like those regions, they don't show their feet. But neither are wrong or right. I mean, they're both right. People try to say that in Islam, like, you don't have to cover your hair. At the time, the women in the society, they were already covering their hair, but they were showing their chest and like wearing like a garment, but they were already covering their hair. That was like the tradition. So when this was revealed, basically women were, when the revelation came down, women were like tearing sheets from the bottom and putting them here to cover what they hadn't covered. So that's why when people say like, oh, you don't have to cover your hair, that doesn't really make sense to me, because that was already being covered, and the addition was cover your bosom, so cover here.
What I believe is what's mentioned in the Quran that I've heard that was told to me. I personally haven't read the whole Quran with the translation, but what I've heard, what someone has told me is that in the Quran there's an Arabic word that is I forgot the word, but basically what it means is something that covers your chest. So like something that would cover your hair and your chest, like a scarf. But how that person described to me was that word, if you were to say sock, you know a sock goes on your foot. So if you were to say that word, and you know it goes on your head. And so that's what someone told me, and I believe it's just one ayat in the Quran that says that. But I also understand that there are people who have different views, and I respect their views. But that's just personally how I feel about that.
Okay, some people, I'm not gonna say how one must cover, and I'm not gonna say how should someone cover themselves. It's not, I have no right to say how it is proper for someone to cover, because I am not in a very extended knowledge of the religion. But I'm just gonna tell you about the different ways people they cover themselves. Some people they always wear the abaya 24/7. Some people they don't. Some people wear like me and they would go out with the hijab on. Some people they would wear the niqab, where they would cover their lower half of their mouth, and some people they would also cover their hands. I don't cover my hands. So everybody has their own amount of wearing or covering themselves. And personally, please, I'm just saying this out of my own understanding and my own opinion. I'm not trying to judge anyone, but I think, you know, in the middle, whatever, it's not in the too extreme. You know, you don't have to cover yourself entirely, like all over, and you don't have to like be completely uncovered. What's in the, you know, in the middle, you know, like not the extreme of both. It's more comfortable, you know. You're in the safe sides, like, you know. So that's what I feel, you know. And if you have a balance in things, and you can't always have chocolate 24/7, and you can't always have pizza, although that sounds awesome. Oh yeah. And I heard this from someone. I don't know if it's true, but they said to block. Cover yourselves in the places that you don't want to be blocked by fire, that you don't want to be touched by fire. So the places that are uncovered will be like burned. So like, let's say you have all of your, I'm not saying, I don't know if this is true or whatnot. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying what I heard. Coffee.